Hi, I'm Ted Radick with the Findlay Courier Sports Department. I'm here with Dave Hanneman and Michael Burwell, and welcome to week 2 of Courier's football talk, chalk, chalk talk.
Easy for you to say.
It is easy for me to say. Why don't we start, Dave? I'm just going to ask you, what were your first impressions after week 1?
I saw what I kind of expected to see. Findlay's a young team. They made a lot of young mistakes. Encroachment penalties, I think 5 of their 10 penalties were encroachment penalties. They're the kind of penalties you see when a young team is over anxious, young kids trying to make plays. A senior quarterback on the other side took advantage of that, made that hard snap count sometimes, and they jumped offsides. But I also saw they picked off 3 passes, so the new defense, the young kids on defense, did make some plays, but they've got to learn to stop the run. The second half was all run, and they couldn't stop Bradley, so they got to stop the run.
Okay, Michael, we saw some good, some bad, and some ugly around the area. What were your impressions after week 1?
Week 1, I was quite, I don't know if shocked, but I was a little bit surprised to see that LB beat Winford 49 to nothing. I mean, Winford's a pretty strong program over the years, and for I expected LB to at least win, but 49 to nothing.
Right,
that's pretty good. So I think that was probably the biggest thing that jumped out from week 1. And
you and I were the two who picked Lipsick to win the BBC in our preseason little mini poll there. I don't know. Maybe we're going to want that one
we'll
back.
See,
huh?
We'll see. LB and Lipsick week 3.
They match up.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Lipsick's got to get healthy. They had a couple injuries, and that offense has got to be clicking. But they scratched out a win, so a win's a win.
Okay, Dave. The Trojans have Harrison this week. You're making the long drive down there. What are you expecting? Tell us all about them.
It'd be interesting to see how Frankie Young is going to do. Frankie Young is the quarterback at Harrison, threw 31 touchdown passes last year, threw for over 2,000 yards. Of those 31 touchdown passes, the receivers that caught 29 of them have graduated. So he's got basically all new receivers, but this kid's legit. I mean, he's 6'3", 200. I'm sure he's getting some college looks. It's going to be interesting to see if Findlay can contain this good quarterback. I don't know if Harrison has the balance of the run and pass that Bradley showed last week. That'll be the interesting thing to see Friday night.
Okay, Michael, you get to see Ada in Arlington this week. Tough week for Arlington last week. They need to bounce back.
Yeah,
okay.
They sure do. Arlington lost big to Anna last week, 52 to nothing, and last year it was kind of the same position. Arlington lost to Anna, and they faced Ada week 2, and then all of a sudden that Arlington defense just shut down Ada's high-powered passing attack and held them to 7 points and picking up the win. So we'll see what happens this week. Obviously, Arlington lost a couple key players, especially Logan Spire, and Ada has quarterback Seth Conley back, some good wide receivers in Chase Sumner, and that passing attack is really something else. So it's going to be a tough test for Arlington, but at home, and you never know what can happen.
Okay, I will be seeing Hardin Northern and Riverdale, and after a week last week, Cary and Van Buren, where at one point in the first half, the two teams had 2 first downs and 8 punts. These two put up 97 combined points on the board last week, so I'm expecting to see a shootout. So let's talk about the conferences that we didn't get to last week. And Michael, I'm going to start with you in the Northwest Conference, and it's wide open.
Yeah, it really is. Especially there's a couple of surprises last week with Delphus Jefferson and Spencerville losing last week. You got to expect them to be up there, though, and throw in Ada and Convoy Crestview as well. I know. I think Ada's really in a good position right now with the experience they have back. Their entire starting lineup back from both offense and defense. And Crestview quarterback Drew Klein. He's only a junior and he's extremely fast. And obviously, he led them to the regional final last year in the loss against Macomb. So I feel like it's still going to be between those 4 teams. And it's going to be interesting to see what Bluffton does too, because they got some studs in the backfield with Caleb Jepson, DeAndre Nasser, and Dakota Bricker. So you never know. I think Bluffton can improve on that 3-7 season a year ago, but you got to look at the big four and Jefferson, Spencerville, Ada, and Crestview.
And finally, we come last but not least to the Blanchard Valley Conference.
Really?
Dave, this is another one that's pretty wide open. I think the top dogs, your Lipsicks, your LBs, your McCombs are still there.
Well, Macomb, everybody thought was going to be off, but they had an impressive big win over Delta last week. As Michael said, we were all kind of surprised by Liberty Benton's shutout of a good Winford program. I think they'll get another big test this week because Archbold got at least one vote as the team to beat in the Northwest Ohio League. That's who Liberty Benton plays Friday night. And then we're going to find out a lot early in the season because Lipsick Liberty Benton showdown week 3. Somebody's going to be in the lead right away, and somebody's going to be playing catch-up right away. But we'll know who it is 3 weeks in the season.
Some of the mid-pack teams, Michael, you know, your Pandora's got just a ton back on both sides of the ball. You know, the pure fastest team in the league might be Hopewell Loudon.
Right.
Some of these mid-pack teams are going to be a handful for some of the big dogs in the league.
Yes, without a doubt, especially Hopewell with Sam Stickley at running back and Pandora with everyone back. They picked up a good win over Columbus Grove last week, and even throw in North Baltimore. I mean, their passing attack, they've got some weapons on offense. They got a couple really tall wide receivers, and Levi Gazaric, one of them, and Julian Hagemeyer. And so, I mean, even North Baltimore, I think, can improve on that 5-5 season. So, I mean, those middle of the pack teams, I'm interested to see how they're going to do this year as well.
Okay, that'll wrap it up for us this week. Be sure and check thecourier.com Friday night and the Courier on Saturday for all the scores and recaps and stories, and we will see you next week.